FNaF is a franchise of many different fan-made stories and games like Five Nights at Candy's, Juniors, and Five Nights at Wario's, but never have I been scared for the entire game. Usually it starts off stressful, but every night the difficulty just keeps going up a notch until it's just stress. But then there's the Return to Bloody Nights. The Return to Bloody Nights is a perfect FNaF game in every characteristic and aspect. If you'd like to stay with me as we review this game, please stick along. The night plays out by showing us a cutscene of Spring Bonnie looking around. I really like when FNaF fan games make movable cutscenes like this. It really brings the game to life in my opinion. After the cutscene, we get a call between William and Henry discussing the new attraction William is hosting. Henry feels that William should wait a little longer before opening to make sure the attraction is safe, but William says that safety is his first priority and he will make sure everything is safe. And that's where the call ends. But gradually, during the nights, the calls get darker and darker. Night 1 is a cakewalk compared to the rest of the game because, Night 1 is never that scary.
Okay, so the first night is never usually that bad in any of the games, so I'll play through.
During Night 1, you have to deal with Spring Bonnie, who travels from the main stage to your right door every time. To be honest, you really don't have to watch him on the monitors until the later nights. The office has 2 doors just like the FNaF 1 office, except in this game you can turn behind yourself to see the puppet box, which after Night 1, there's a cutscene of us scanning Fredbear to see if there's any paranormal activity happening in him. But for some reason, nothing shows up with the feed, so we have to end up leaving. During Night 2, we have to deal with another threat, who is Fredbear. Fredbear roams the pizzeria, always going through the same path, except Fredbear always comes to your left door, reversed from Spring Bonnie, who always comes to the right. Fredbear is much slower than Spring Bonnie and eventually reaches your door, in which you have to close it. The gameplay mechanics will increase much more in the later nights, trust me. At the end of Night 2, after a long 8 minutes, we are greeted with a Spring Bonnie cutscene. When we use the ghost tool to see if anything's wrong with Spring Bonnie, like what we did with Fredbear, but guess what happens? Night 3 begins with Henry and William speaking again. Henry tells William that he's been hearing things from the other employees of the new animatronics designs being too scary for the kids. William denies this and says that the employees only see a work in progress. Then Henry asks William about his recent divorce and how William is feeling about that. William says that he's caring for his family, but his work is more important at the moment. After the phone call, we're greeted into Night 3, where the phone guy asks us to start recording tapes for the new facility to ensure safety from a spring lock failure. I wonder why.
Michael, don't leave me here! Michael!
Earlier on Night 2, the phone guy told us about a puppet who's in the back of our office. Well, tonight she becomes active. Every once in a while you have to look behind yourself and flash her or she'll kill you. Her jump scare is the best in game in my opinion. After Night 3, we're shown the third cutscene of the new Spring Bonnie 2.0 animatronic built by William Afton. Night 4 starts us off with a horrible jump in difficulty. It's not even Night 5 yet. Now we have 5 animatronics to deal with at the same time. Night 4 took me over 10 attempts. Honestly, you have to balance all the mechanics perfectly. There's so many times in the night I had to open both doors just so the heat meter wouldn't go up. If you make one mistake during this night, it's game, you're dead. During this night, the phone guy says some interesting stuff regarding his dream.
I'm proud of you. My neck. Feels like it's been bitten in half and twisted like a pretzel. I slept like a rock last night, but I woke up feeling like I got hit by a truck. I had this weird dream where I was half robot, half human, and let me tell you, it wasn't pretty. My legs were replaced with rusty old scrap metal, and I was clunking around like some kind of junkyard Frankenstein. Can you imagine me like that? Talk about a nightmare. Anyway. Anyway, enough about my weird dreams. Now I must confess, I forgot to mention...
During this night, we have to deal with Spring Bonnie 2.0 and Golden Freddy. Spring Bonnie 2.0 works by coming to your right door just like Bonnie, and he bangs on it for a long 5 seconds. Then he leaves. My problem with Spring Bonnie 2.0 is he's so annoying. And then when you're crunched for power in the later nights, this mechanic is so annoying because as he stays at your door, if you open it just a little bit faster, you'll be jump scared. Golden Freddy is always at your left door. Multiple times during the night, he will make noises indicating he's getting closer to your door. I really don't know why they added these noises, but it really does bring a whole new level of fear to the game. After I finally beat Night 4, I have to say, the mechanics work so perfectly together that the night never actually seemed unbeatable. But the jump in difficulty was uncalled for. After going through Night 1, 2, and 3 easily, the jump really got me. The developers really should have made the other nights on these standards if they were going to do something like this, honestly. Before we begin Night 5, we have another cutscene. This time it's actually the Golden Freddy animatronic. Something actually happens when we point the ghost door to its head. It starts beeping frantically. Meaning there's a ghost. Then we look to the right and see who I'm guessing to be William Afton. That's where the cutscene ends. And what I'm wondering is, why couldn't they have done this for the entire game? Night 5 is very chaotic. I really can't explain the stress I went through with this night. It's so chaotic and RNG based because Golden Freddy is at your door and it's completely randomized the time that he'll be there. And when you need to open the door to keep the heat meter down, he might be there and he still jump scare you, so the RNG is off the charts. And the chaoticness of this night, oh my gosh. After a few hours of playing this night, I can finally say I beat it, and I understand it now. Completing this night will give us the first ending for the Return to Bloody Nights, which I will say is put together pretty nicely, at least to my standards.
Many years since the incident that changed everything. I have done unforgivable things since then. The missing children, it was all my doing. But do not mistake my confidence for remorse, for I am not sorry. My animatronics were always meant to be more than mere entertainers. They were created to wield fear, to evoke terror, and bring forth the ultimate consequence, death. Oh, Elizabeth, my sweet Elizabeth. She failed to listen to me, and she became the unfortunate victim of a programming error, a mere flaw in my creation. But I could not bear the burden of responsibility, for that would tarnish my flawless image. Instead, I pushed the blame away onto others, for I could not admit fault. And then there was Charlotte, Henry's daughter. I could not bear to see him bask in all his happiness and receive all the credit for our work. My jealousy consumed me, and I had to take matters into my own hands. Do not think for a moment that I fear the consequences of my actions. I am not guilty, not in my mind. I meticulously crafted the evidence to make it appear as though Henry was the one responsible, for I had bigger plans in mind. Plans that require my full attention and dedication. I have built a new place for my new creations, a place that will instill wonder and fear into the heart of all who bear witness. And soon, I will reveal what is coming next.
This is the best cutscene in game. It really shows that William was truly a villain to begin with. He had already planned what was going to happen. He set Henry up, his best friend for life. He built the animatronics to be straight killing machines. He was always 2 steps ahead of everyone. Really was a killer from the beginning. After completing night 6, we are shown one of the missing children with text that reads, "There was someone that night. I called for help, but no one came for me. Now I feel different. I can't disappear now. Not now. I found others who are just like me. They need my help. I must save them. I must guide them. I will give them their happiest day." Believe it or not, this game actually has one more cutscene. Surprisingly, guess what it comes from? Beating 420 mode. And for whoever actually completed 420 mode, you're presented with this cutscene.
I found this. I made it. All of this was done in order to find something that even Henry couldn't understand. The last ingredient. Something called the spark of life. The most terrible accidents bear the most beautiful fruits. They serve their lives for a greater purpose. Recreating the accident. That is the duty and honor of science. Reproduce the experiment and get the same results? I gave my whole life to this experiment, piece by piece. The spirit follows the flesh, it would seem, and also the pain. If I wish to become my own immortal creation, my body must lead my spirit to its immortal home. And that time has come. I have finally achieved what I've been waiting for a long time. You thought you would kill me this way and finally be free. By imprisoning me in this body, you only did me a favor. You just gave me a second life that I always wanted to have. I am immortal now, Michael. Running away will get you nowhere now, my son. You may not recognize me at first, but I assure you, it's still me.
What should I find here? We already grabbed what we could.
There's another room in this building. It could be behind a wall. According to the designer, it has to be on the left, near the emergency exit. Once you find that wall, destroy it. And when you're done, call me again so I can bring the group to help you there.
Okay, boss. I will. Oh, I do not like this place. So, what do we have here? Look at that. Looks like we found a real animatronic there. What happened to the power? I better go check the electrical
This was an amazing FNaF fan game to play. It had great graphics, a great story, and I think this is everything a FNaF fan game should be. If they would have fixed the spike in difficulty, then I think this would be, if not one of my favorite FNaF games out there. Let me know how y'all felt about this game. I truly had a good experience with it. Thank you for staying tuned, and let me know what y'all thought in the comments. Until next time, stay alive, and goodbye.